white human aggro or mostly white with a small splash for Kudro and some sideboard cards. I think the most important thing to understand about this deck, chat, is it's my party and I'll fly if I want to. Archpriest of Iona here being a fantastic one-drop that's also on theme for humans feels very reasonable. You know, with your party, this is a cleric. These are clerics. We've got is it warrior as the other creatures? We got a warrior here. So on average, this is going to be, you know, a 1 or 2 power thing that gets pumped up by Kudro. I like the inclusion of Skyclave Apparition. Something that you often see in this style of deck is people who are kind of like a slave to their theme, where they don't play generically good cards because they're not humans. And Skyclave is just a very good generic card, just like pressure that's also interaction is fantastic. We have some rally the ranks here to leverage that human sub-theme some more. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this card does. Reverent Hoplite enters the battlefield. Create a number of 1/1 white human soldier tokens equal to your devotion to white. Okay, sure. I could see this being okay. This is a nice card that synergizes with Skyclave and Sun's Nemesis here. So like you have like a rally into Skyclave, into Elspeth, into this, make a bunch of things. Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis here notably gives us a way to make human soldier tokens as well, which is sweet for our theme. Kudro, while I don't think he single-handedly stops the graveyard in the cycling deck, this does give us a scotch of main deck graveyard interaction as well, which is neat. One thing I think I might like out of the sideboard is, speaking of cycling, is I feel like a couple copies of Elspeth's Nightmare is probably good. I'm gonna throw a couple of those in there before we get going, I think. Magistrate's a wizard for the party stuff as well. That's cute. No, Thalia seems off. This is a standard deck, Indy. I know it can be tough. We are flipping back and forth between formats, so. I mean, I like the Ikoria cards. There's a number of B-list mutate decks in this format. Speaking of B-list mutate decks, CoolStuffInc.com will be publishing a full primer, including sideboard guide for the blue-black mutate deck I've been playing a bunch and enjoying. Felt inspired to do some writing, and they offered to publish it for me, so. That's true. It wasn't long ago that changing formats meant opening Excel. In fact, I didn't ask what day they were going to post it on. You may have, okay. Oh, look at that! It's up there now. They published it right away. They're so great. I sent them to them Saturday night. Sweet. If you want to write up on the blue-black mutate deck with sideboard guide, there you go. Usually this probably blue-red flash. Speaking of flash deck, probably like the blue-red flash tempo deck. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and play my threats to the board here. Usually they have like Storm's Wrath post board, but not game one. I should probably get them my updated headshot. I'm gonna write on occasion. All right, which of these things do I want to get countered the most? CoolStuffInc.com. Stuff in stock. Long-term stream sponsor. Cool Stuff Inc.'s the one sponsoring the upcoming Hochlandia Open as well. They're great folks, been with me for a long time. Maybe I'm supposed to hold that land to discard the Seasoned Hallowblade. There's cool stuff shipped to the UK. They do. Yeah, there's a whole list of places that they ship to. Prices for shipping vary depending on where you're shipping to, but... So, you're dead on board? Hey, diddle diddle, the giant killer in the fiddle. The white weenies attacked you to death. Yeah, my discount code is only for card game singles, but they sell a bunch of stuff there, including board games. My wife and I expand our board game collection with them on occasion as well. Jim Davis is going to be my co-caster for the upcoming Hochlandia Open. Should be a good time. Is it just Drannith Magistrate as my other card I'm boarding in here? Skyclave Apparition doesn't really seem very good. None of my sideboard cards sound great here. This kills Dragon at least. This stops their foretell cards. It stops their adventures. Maybe this is actually fine. Do I want all the copies of this actually? This being kind of expensive is probably bad against the counterspell deck. What if I just boarded all of these? I'm actually kind of into that. That stops adventures and foretell. You always cut Hoplite against any sweeper decks. Well, they're more of a counterspell deck than a sweeper deck. Like, maybe, like, it's hard to know, like, Blue-Red Flash has fallen off the format. When they were popular, they were playing, like, 0 to 3 copies of Storm's Wrath. He's dead, chat. Look at the way they massacred my boy. Huh? Is that worth keeping here? This might be low-key great, huh? If they're not on a dragon hand. I think that actually might be great. It's close though. Sometimes the opponent's archetype like plays the long game. This is a saw coming. Really? I am really surprised that they didn't do this on their turn to hit the land drop. Feels like a strange sequencing decision there. They must have like an essence scatter, right? That's what this feels like to me. They pass holding up 2 mana rather than trying to hit their land drop, so they must have scatter. Alright, chat, this giant killer is going the distance. It's going full speed. It's all alone. Joke's on you, opponent. I don't have anything to spend my mana on this turn anyways, so I'll replay them all. Thanks, Mr. Reidane. It's been a long while since I've done written content, but in a former life, I spent, you know, multiple years consistently writing written Magic content, most of which were deck guides. The thing I hate the most when reading other people's deck guides is I really despise when people just do binary in-out sideboard guides and don't explain any of the reasoning or how the matchups are supposed to work. Feel like that does a disservice to people. I elected not to replay this because they could have a stomp here, and I wanna make a castle token here. It's more resource efficient. It's nice that the Skyclave has multiple Mauls, chat. This card's not legendary, apparently. Yeah, that's what the context in things like that are important for exactly that reason. It means if your opponent's playing something that's slightly atypical, you can kind of understand it and adjust. Hopefully, at least. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Probably gonna see a pretty typical play out here of screw beating Flood. One for each hand, chat. Breeze borrower, bounce your token. the casual trade 13 mana for 2 mana. We thought they had scatter earlier. Yeah. Definitely played like they had scatter on turn 3. It's a good read. They counter this, we'll drop the land. Might just be dead here, right? Like, kill this, we discard to save it. Oh, really? Huh. Do I play this land out to equip the 1/1 then? Or do I hold up Takedown to kill a Brazen Borrower? I think I want to equip the 1/1 here. This gets first strike and flying. Wow, they had Bonecrusher Giant. Oh. They have third Borrower to bounce my Seasoned Hallowblade? Or fourth Borrower to bounce my Seasoned Hallowblade? Oh, right, this makes 2 mana, so they can play 2 Borrowers here. Am I dead? Not quite dead on board. They can fire up this and then hit me for 10. Eat the dragon in combat. Probably dead to how wide they're going. Well, they do have the last bar. Oh, they can just kill it to make me tap. Yep. Alright, we'll be on the play for game 3. Sounds lovely. Feels bad, man. Do I want the redundant Maul or the redundant Aspirant? Hey, Blue Vader, thanks for the Prime. Yeah, add means your Prime flaps, for sure. I appreciate the support. I feel like I want the redundant Maul. I don't know, they have a ton of removal. Redundant threats probably, right? Really want to draw an untapped land on turn 2 here. Our mana base not being super kind to us with the double taps here. The double tap land's basically going to give up the advantage we have being on the play. Also don't think I want to mulligan to 5 here either. Well, I mean, all things considered, at least that's a castable spell. Better than drawing like another 2-drop. We at least get to get pressure onto the board this turn. The problem is now they have things like Jawari Disruption and Scatter Up, which means they can stop the Hallowblade from resolving. Hey, Girds. Welcome back. Morning. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting that to resolve. So it's the sequencing here on my part's interesting and worth discussing. So by waiting to play this post-combat, it looks like I'm missing a point of damage on this. In actuality, waiting to play this got me an extra point of damage, because if I would have played this pre-combat, they would have just killed this when it went to attack. Whereas, because I waited till after combat, they waited to see what I was gonna do. About to get Brazen Borrower here, I imagine. No counter spell, no kill on the Aspirant. I imagine means they're about to bounce this Hallowblade on me. Soul Seer! Oh, chat. It burns so deep. That was supposed to be my card you can't interact with, opponent. I was supposed to ride that puppy all the way to victory. Yikes. I think Soul Seer is a great inclusion in the opponent's archetype. Not only does it deal with indestructible threats like Hallowblade, but it's also a way at instant speed to kill, it kills Lovestruck Beast. Kills Toski too, yep. I'm splitting my counters up here because they're likely to have removal, so I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. This is the part where I get Storm's Wrath, that's why they didn't interact with them. Feels Magic Man. Land is nice for us at least. It's not resource efficient, but I think I want to get this going this turn. This builds up more the longer it's in play. Is my soul due for some further searing here, opponent? Behold the multiverse. So why would they not foretell Behold? What did they want to hold up that throwing that in the corner wasn't correct on their turn? Maybe they just missed it. Maybe they wanted to hold the ability to block with the Faceless Haven. I could see that. One medium rare soul, please. We need more souls, man. Freshly seared. So that temple is protecting Seasoned Hallowblade, right? Is the plan? On this matchup. I want to put this on Luminarch Aspirant here, so that way she doesn't trade with Faceless Haven inside of combat. It's a bit worse against Brazen Borrower, but that card's gonna suck for us regardless, so I'm not playing around it. I'll play around the card that they guaranteed have in play. They could fire up Faceless Haven, block the Seasoned Hallowblade, we discard a card to protect it, and then they Soul Sear in response to for wanting us. I think I'm playing this so I could do both of these next turn. I could go either way on that. Yeah, we'll keep that. Gives us some sequencing decisions next turn. Might want to play that plus Aspirant next turn. We don't really care about Brazen Borrower because we're just racing them. Brazen Borrower being played out here implies they don't have another Storm's Wrath yet, which is great. Like I said too earlier, like, the odds of them having multiple of these is also kind of low. Stick a pin in it. Thunk. It's kind of funny that in a way playing Maul of the Skyclaves gives them an extra blocker with Brazen Borrower, since Borrower can only block flying things. Gabarayu, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Shrapnel Groove, howdy howdy. Sweet. Nice, nice. Climbing on up the ladder. We're gonna have a link to a decent blue-white control deck for Historic. I'd recommend checking out Yellow Hat's Cardboard Live. I know they've played blue-white. Believe it or not, Gabriel Nassif has played blue-white control in a format. I know this will come as a shock. I don't believe you. He's honestly like the number one source. You want to play control in any format? There's a good control deck, probably. Always start there. He's the best in the business. Princess Silver. Princess Sliver? It's actually Sliver, isn't it? Sending you some of Jeff Bezos' money because I'm happy to see you enjoying Magic again. I appreciate it. It's good to be back. Bushtriz, good afternoon. Oh, click to continue actually worked, chat. Did they fix the bug? We fixed the bug. It said click to continue and it actually continued. Magic Arena. Aww. That's amazing. You love to see it, chat. How does the draw thing happen? I believe the draw pop-up like that is your opponent clicking cancel as it pairs you, basically. I didn't have the heart to correct you the last 24 resubs. I believe you that I said it wrong 24 months in a row. Full effect, thanks for the 19 months. That's true. RTX voice is incredibly sexist, and high-pitched tones that are generally not masculine tend to get filtered out. Because remember, chat, if you train your AI with a biased data set, you create a biased AI. Much like people, computers aren't inherently racist, but they can be taught to be, and sexist and all that jazz. I'm canceling my sub because you don't play enough Artifact. Come on now, let's not speak ill of the dead. What 2-drop do we want to play here? Yorion. Could be right, just get a second one of these going, huh? These get more value the longer they sit and play. I think I'm gonna diversify where my counters are here. And then the question is, do I think I need a chop down or do I play this out to get more value with Rally the Ranks next turn? We're gonna smork. This is worth 2 points next turn. Artifact had so much hype. I'm actually pretty confident that when they announced Artifact, the audience collectively groaned. I'm pretty sure is what happened. Yeah, honestly, the funniest and most predictable part about Artifact is probably the fact that, like, it didn't just die once, it's that they didn't let it fully die the first time. And then, like, it managed to die a second time without ever really being alive. Remember auto chess? Hearthstone's auto chess and TFT are both still wildly popular. You personally might not care for auto chess in its current state, but to act like those things don't exist anymore would be very silly and just wrong. My favorite part of Artifact was watching the podcast called something like The Long Haul Slowly Dwindle and Die. Alright, so Reidane here is a definite. I feel like we're supposed to trim Skyclave here against the creature deck. I actually really enjoyed Artifact. There's always one. There's always one. I guess they played a Jorn out. They played the Snow God that untaps things. Maybe Skyclave's not terrible. Maybe I don't want to cut all of them. I definitely think Artifact appealed to a very specific type of person, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying a game that's largely other people don't. Rian, thanks for the 21 months. Welcome back. Morning. Almost afternoon here in the cornfields. The best way I could describe Artifact for people that didn't play it is Artifact's gameplay was a good example of doing a lot of different things at the same time doesn't necessarily make your gameplay complex and interesting. I think the best comparison of Artifact is like Artifact was challenging to play in the same way that taking 30 third grade math tests at the same time would be challenging. It wouldn't necessarily be computationally difficult, but there was a lot of it going on at the same time. So, like, it didn't have a lot of complicated decisions. It had a lot of simple decisions that you had to make repeatedly in short time frames. It also made the mistake, and I think this is a thing that people don't realize a lot. Something I often hear about from Magic players that is it's just objectively wrong is I often hear Magic players complain that Hearthstone, when you talk about comparisons of Magic and Hearthstone, Magic players are often adamant that Hearthstone has too much variance in it, and Hearthstone is actually a much lower variance game than Magic the Gathering. The problem with Hearthstone is that the places that Hearthstone puts its variance tend to feel bad. And that's because Hearthstone doesn't have resource variance like Magic, in order to create variety of gameplay, Hearthstone sticks the word random directly on a lot of cards. So even though the actual gameplay itself is much lower variance, the places that the variance rears its head tend to feel worse from a player perspective, in my opinion. If they have Heartless Act here, I get kind of punished for putting these on here. Do I want to Reidane? So if I Reidane, they can't Doomscar me next turn. And if they Extinction Event, I have 2 different costs. So I think we Reidane and rally the ranks here. Why would Heartless punish me there? Because they'd kill this in response. Absorbing both my triggers. Ha! Reidane puts their Snowland into play tap tier 2, so they can't Extinction Event either. That's fantastic. Yeah, 100% Fear Devil. As a Magic player, you are conditioned to accept the non-games in Magic as just a core part of the system, whereas the random element in a game like Hearthstone is very in your face. This is why we didn't play this out. Bonk. Bing bonk, bing bonk. This deck's kind of neat. It's got some similarities to the white aggro deck, obviously, that's running around, but doing it with a little bit different shell. Got some sweet ones like Kudro. No Justice MTG. You're in the right channel. Thanks for the follow. Speaking of comparisons to the mono white deck, you know, our second color not being free here with lands like this or draws like this where we have a Fabled Passage in the opener. Our ability to curve out definitely being hampered by our decision to play a second color. I think we just do this on 1 and hope to run some untapped lands off. We find untapped land on 2, we go Hallowblade into attack for 2 here. Thoughts on Skyclaves so far? When you say Skyclaves, do you mean Maul or Apparition? Because they're both good. Look at that, we're up to 20 people pre-registered for the Hoots tournament already. It's exciting. I don't imagine we'll hit the 256 player cap. But I suppose it's a possibility. You think missing our 2-drop play here probably means we're going to be too far behind? Yeah, missing the land now, too. Well... We're not coming back from the spot. 8-bit tournament. Powers of 2 make the math for number of rounds work out much cleaner. Do we bring in Drannith Magistrate against their adventurers deck? Probably. What do I wanna cut though? Like, all of these cards seem kind of reasonable. Need 8 cuts. Orv Max, thanks for the 32 months. Welcome back. Elspeth's very attackable. Yeah, do we want to try and go under them? Like, is this effect not what we're looking to do? Yeah, Killer could come out, especially if I'm bringing in some other pieces of spot removal. Let's try this. I agree that going long is probably not ideal for us here, so trying to get under them seems fine. Hey, it's Jack. Afternoon. Hey, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, Sean? Thank you for the 28 months. Hope your Monday is treating you well. You think I temple here so I can go this? If I temple on 1, I can do this on 2 into either of these on 3. For sponsorship purposes, I prefer the man, the myth guard, the legend. I appreciate the context, Shell. Mythgard is great. We're going to play some of that at the end here. You can tell Day 9's a professional. The context, Shell. Oh, were you planning on playing that next turn, opponent? Were you planning to cast this little adventure here? Not from your hand, you're not. No adventures for you. Come back in 1 turn. And honestly, the stat line on this card is very good in this matchup, right? Like the opponent's deck has Stomp and Giant Killer as their primary forms of removal. So like a 1/3 works out real well there. Not getting stomped, not getting chopped down. We're gonna be starting Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation tomorrow afternoon. Our next non-card game variety game. Look at all these adventurous creatures, chat. They're so adventurous. Oh gosh, this stops skulls too. This card's absurd here, huh? That's quite great. I would call this a hate bear, but I'm really glad it doesn't have another point of. Oh no! Oh no! Glass casket. That's fine. We got this. They get one of their adventure cards. Fine. You have 4/3. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. You'll be hearing from my Skyclave. Do I hold second Skyclave for another glass cask? I feel like the answer is no. I feel like they top decked this. I think I want to just get rid of this and smack them. Actually quite a good draw. So I think I want to get these Dorkos out of stomp range. That's probably what I want to do. I actually probably don't want to put them into chop down range though. So we gotta like thread the removal needle with Luminarch Aspirant. It could be right to just pump this to 2 and attack with it as well. That's probably what we want to do. That's a good one. If these double block here, they get a 3/3, but then they take 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, yep. Yeah, exile 4 cards. Sounds sweet. You play those lands. I mean, I think they know this is happening. They probably just didn't have things they could do in their hand. I imagine. I imagine this was I know how this works, but I don't have any other choices. For mana mill 4. They got to play lands off of that. Come on now. You know, I don't think this card quite does enough against Sultai. Like, obviously you bring it in there and it's fine. But, like, this card seems nutso against these Naya Adventure decks. Like, just genuinely absurd. When you factor in the, tagging Skulls on top of their adventures and the stat line being difficult to remove. I mean, to be fair, if they had Fire Prophecy in their sideboard, it was already coming in against my small creature deck. This is like hand sucks keep territory. I don't know, Hallowblade and Maul is pretty good. A scotch of interaction. None of these cards are like Drannith Magistrate good, but they seem keepable. Yikes. Well. The opponent's archetype good in matchups like this for a lot of the same reason that the cycling deck is good, which is that these creature decks just can't beat this endless flow of tokens. Like, I get to, like, crunch in and kill one of them, but, like, they're racing me on the backswing here, too. What's going on, Paul? Good afternoon. You just splash red for Cleave. Yeah, Maul is just not quite the same as Cleave. Guess I shouldn't have attacked. Traded killing a 1/1 for 6 points of damage. Really good trade for me. The old third Bone Crusher Giant. A tried and true classic. Alright, we're gonna slide along to the next one here. Well, hopefully we draw some ranks to rally, huh? That would be nice. The Dimir control deck was fine if you really like Dimir control. In general, it reminded me of the fact that I prefer more tap-out control in this format. And we're going to start with Jund control or 4-color control again tomorrow. Similar to what I had played at the start of the season. The counter spells in this format just tend to feel really bad against anything that's not like exactly Sultai Ultimatum. I guess this could be a mulligan. Could definitely be hand sucks keep territory. guess we're just taking 2 since I don't have another creature to equip this to otherwise. Well, what are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Let's force them to pop the savior here. I'm getting to power up speaker here is pretty scary. Maul takes 2 white to equip because they learned their lesson with Embercleave. Maul is a well-designed Magic the Gathering card, and Embercleave is a poorly designed Magic the Gathering card, in my opinion. I think Embercleave should probably cost 4 or 5 to re-equip. Be much better off for everything if that was the case. Come on, attack. Yeah. Got him, chat. Got him. Disenchant like it's 1993. Yeah, exactly. You get it. Okay, and now, because I have nothing else to do, we'll attack, and then we'll slide this over here. Slide to the right. While we're breaking on spells, we're just going to shuffle this Maul back and forth. Wheel?
Death itself cannot halt my fight for death. I am proud of my comrades.
Yeah, it's fine. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Gives us a way to generate some board presence here over the course of a couple turns. Gabriel, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today. Damage to you or permanent you control. The shield interact with multi-blocking. Every one of my cards is a different source, but it works how my opponent wants it to work. Well, okay. I mean, that's something else to do with my mana, I suppose.
Heroes, rally to me.
I don't know that we're winning this game necessarily. Maybe if we find like Kudro or a couple of rally the ranks, we could be okay. Yeah, it's effectively -1 attack on all my things. Yeah, them having double Aspirant is definitely better than our just making a couple of tokens here. Hey, Maloney, thank you for the 27 months. It's a long time. Welcome back. Dire Tactics would be an okay draw too.
You are braver than you know.
Magic Dexter. Thanks for the 14 months. Okay, so do I...
Even the gods cannot escape my wrath.
Do I just -1 her again on both of these and ship? I think that's the play.
Find your valor.
I guess they can chump Seasoned Hallowblade. I guess they can chump Seasoned Hallowblade and then sack the bounty to protect the Usher. Oh, sure. I guess they do just lifelink for 7 on the backswing, killing my Elspeth. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. Yep. The life gain sub theme in their build is neat with the Speaker of the Heavens. And they can even attack with these with impunity because of the Protector Shield here if they wanted.
I have not given up the fight.
Yeah, like this, I think this is arguably like one of the best draws in our deck, and it still just like doesn't really do anything here, right? It's just not going to keep up with what these aspirants are pumping out. Their continued board advantage every turn is much better than ours. I'm planning to run back Bant Angel Company. Yeah, almost assuredly, Dr. Mister. I think we played that deck a second time, didn't we? Or have we not played that deck a second time yet? Thursday and Friday are going to be all historic streams, but I don't think that deck gets any cards from the anthology, so I probably won't be playing it then. I played it 2 days back. Yeah, that's what I thought. We'll definitely be playing it again before the Hooglandia Open. I don't know exactly when, because my schedule's not super rigid anymore like it used to be. Veritech, good afternoon. Start's not particularly aggressive here. Yeah, I think the Bant Angels deck is super competitive. It's strong and generates explosive games. I would be surprised if it's not well represented at the Hooglandia event we're gonna have on the 21st. Okay. Untapped land here's a nice draw. So they'll get to poke her for 1 next turn with this token, but we'll get to make 4 more power. Hopefully, Elspeth dumping 8 power plus Maul's will let us punch through here. Depending on how big this fox gets, this will be a prime chop down target.
I will not run.
Ooh, that was an amazing draw. Probably the best draw in our deck, honestly. I guess another way to make all of our things bigger would have also been a good draw, but Kill your fox, play a Maul, smack you for a ton here is pretty good. Elspeth with Rally the Ranks looking really impressive here. The way our start was with no creature plays on turn 1 and 2, I wasn't expecting our draw to feel particularly aggressive, and Elspeth definitely punching the clock and going to work here. Yeah, good chance there's Zenith Flares lurking in our opponent's deck. We'll put its hand even. I think I'm just playing out 2 threats here rather than making a 2-2. Want to try and kill them next turn if they break on the 4th land again. Even if they have the 4th land, they have 8 cyclers. They could like bonk this, go to 12, and then I actually have 12 exactly playing these out. So yeah, even Zenith Flare doesn't save them here for 4th land. You're exactly dead through Flare. We conveniently put a couple of copies of Elspeth Nightmare in our sideboard for this particular matchup. It's a little bit slow, but it does exile the graveyard, which is nice. I don't know if this is a Disenchant matchup. I feel like the answer is probably no. I have 4 Skyclaves to interact with their what's it called? Yeah, Deadweight's fine. I don't know about good, but fine is the descriptor I would use. Could be right to bring in Dire Tactics too to be able to kill large foxes. I also feel like, though, I can't really afford to go super long against my opponent's deck, so I don't want to become super interactive, cutting all of my pressure. Alright, please play a fox on 1 so I can curve out. Thanks. Gosh, opponent. Never doing anything for me. Man, my kingdom for Disfigure, chat. Could Disfigure just be like an evergreen standard card like Negate? Disfigure's not too good for standard, right? Yikes, you have a 3rd land? Third land cycle's real not great for us here. Okay, they have a 3rd land, but it's that. Got it. Hey, Blue Fire, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Okay, so if they have 3 1-mana cyclers, they get to cycle now and then cycle on my turn to make a bunch of things. Okay, we're actually in a pretty okay spot here, all things considered, right? I get to deadweight the Rescuer, I get to drop the Rally the Ranks and attack. Do I play second Hallowblade, or do I rally deadweight attack with both of these? I think I play second Hallowblade. The important things to note about capitalism and Best Buy / sell by dates is that dates that are best by are actually sell by dates. We're dead at this point. This is Pyromancer notably is a reason to play Rally last turn, so maybe I should think about that. Something to keep my mind on. It's the reason I want Dire Tactics too. That card's a real beating. The decks like ours are really bad against Pyromancer. Really, really bad. Honestly, these Archpriests seem kind of mediocre. Hey, Matt. Good afternoon. Sure. Fetch on one here, get my auto pass value in. They know what colors we have. Would love for them to play a card that dies to Elspeth's Nightmare next turn. Just so we can curve. Play a Fox, come on. Yes! You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. Dunk. Our sideboard cards doing sideboard cards things. One can get right on out of here. That's a great draw too. Because they wanted to. They wanted to hold on to this so it didn't die right away. And now they can't play it and cycle and kill the Kudro right away, which is great. Sumo. They're gonna hop on their bicycle here. And I imagine they'll keep cycling until they hit a land, or until they can't. Bicycle race, tricycle race. Oh my gosh, chat. They added a fat bottom girl to the bicycle deck. It's so perfect. Why is it so flavorful, chat? Why did it take me this long to realize what had happened? I'm so disappointed in myself that it took me this long to realize what had occurred. Unfortunately, they're going to get to Zenith Flare Makudro here. Yeah. And then I'm out of pressure. I guess any creature draw is good for us there, right? Although I guess most of our creatures draw die to the Pyromancer, so like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Definitely not in a good spot here. And this is why the cycling deck is so good against creature decks like ours. They have tokens to block endlessly. Zenith Flare is very difficult to race. Okay, I hadn't played Nightmare yet, Bear Senior, because they have an Ironcrag Pyromancer face up in their hand. So you're right that I need to exile their graveyard eventually before they find their next flare, but I also need to kill this when it comes into play, otherwise I can't win the game. Cycling the Rescuer is aggressive. They have, I guess if they have, If one of these two cards is a Zenith Flare, we could be in trouble. I think I keep this Dire Tactics here, even though it's not a threat, because killing their next Pyromancer is going to be important. They could have saved it with development. Oh god, you're right. Opponent punted, huh? They totally could have made this a 4/4 and they missed it. Don't show me double flare. And now, like, here's the tough part. They don't have double flare, but they have a bunch of cyclers, right? So I'm gonna take one of their cyclers away. And then they get a chance to ride their bicycle towards a flare before I kill them with this. They just draw it naturally, just like had it on top. You're about to get bing bonked. Bonk, bing bonk. I think we're dead shit. And this really just shows the flexibility of the opponent's archetype, right? Like, we attacked their graveyard, we removed their creatures, and they still just, like, systematically dismantled us, and it didn't matter because their deck attacks from so many angles. And our opponent made a pretty pivotal mistake not recognizing they could save their Pyromancer this game from our Nightmare. Magister help? Why? I think you're confusing those cards. Bear Senior, I'd encourage you to go read the cards you're suggesting we add. And even the Archon that limits them to 1 spell per turn, like the cycling deck doesn't actually cast that many spells per turn. A lot of what it's spending its mana on is just churning through its deck with cyclers. What are cycling's bad matchups? Sideboard cards? It's bad. It's bad. It's often bad against Graveyard Hate. Graveyard Hate plus removal spells. I actually think the blue-black mutate deck that I wrote a primer for today has a pretty good cycling matchup because it has negates and hard removal. Do you lose Vault Progress by not claiming it right away? You do not. I think it was Deathsea had a screenshot of their vault at like 2,500% because they only play limited. Did I say 1,000? I meant 100. I don't remember. Honestly, it could be thousands. All right, that's a great draw. Oh, really? Was it? They did have it at 25,000? Yeah, there's a screenshot on their Twitter. All right, the General's here, chat. Welcome to the General store. No blocks, take 6. Are we the aggro deck now? I think we're losing this race. Not anymore? Not anymore? Alright, so if I play this, and they activate Castle next turn, they're attacking me for... The Castle's only 9, right? So I can play this and ship with everything? This forces a block, because it's exactly lethal. I'm dead to Stomp plus Rimrock Knight out of hand. Close. Close. Think this is a Magistrate matchup, even though it's a 1-3. Couple pieces of spot removal seem fine. Apparition seems great. Maybe we trim some amount of Rally or Maul. Is the only way to see your vault progress to keep it above 100%? Yeah, it's because the vault's a temporary feature that will be removed from the client before Arena leaves beta. So they didn't code in the ability to see it before 100% since they're going to get rid of it before the application fully releases. I think Reidane might be okay. I actually think her backside's probably better than the front side in this matchup. Making Snowlands tapped is pretty small upside, all things considered. But, taking 1 less damage from all of their stuff is good. Would you believe that the -500 emote is the most used emote on my channel? That's gonna come as a shock to all of you at home. And for people that are new to the channel and not plugged into the Magic community and wonder what the -500 emote is about, in the MPL and Rivals players contracts, the professional Magic players that Wizards of the Coast pays salaries to that play in like the league weekends, there is a clause that says if they are found to disparage Wizards in a social media post or publicly, and they determine that it was accidental, there's a $500 fine from future prize earnings. So, the Hoglandians put the $500 emote in chat when they feel like I've said something that would get me fined if I was part of that contract. What if they're disparaging on purpose? If they're disparaging on purpose, it's termination of the contract. Yeah, it's a fine if it's determined to be accidental. If it's determined to be intentional, they sever the contract. Hey, McNugget, thanks for the half year. I appreciate the prep. Welcome back. What do you think? Shame concede? Does this prompt a shame concession? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh dear. So again, for people that are newer to Magic and don't understand the templating, like my opponent was a little confused, it looks like here, this says if it would die, exile it instead. It does not just straight up exile the creature. Is the important distinguishing language on that card. I think I drop a Maul on the general here and smack them for 5 in the air. I guess I can attack with both. I'm gonna leave this back on defense, I think. It might include this. I don't actually remember the exact language, Hyper Ninja. I just remember they couldn't lose money because of it. That they weren't getting paid. It's like they couldn't fine them more than they were making. Hello, ladies.
Hi, Dad. It's been a while since I visited.
Do we need some baby daughter on stream? Yeah. Who's a happy baby daughter? Haley's a happy baby daughter. Oh. So I don't bump you. What do you think? You're too little to appreciate it, but there's Haley emotes in the chat for you. Oh, we need some high res Haley. Is she great? Who's great? You're great. Oh, who's that? Is that Haley on the screen? She does have big, beautiful eyes. I agree. They're very photogenic. Looking all around, there's fun stuff on my floor to grab. You do have some of your toys on my floor. She does have hair. She is slowly on her way to having more hair than me. Not that that's a very tough bar to clear, but I think she's gonna get there before too long here. Oh, there's my bouncing baby girl. Yeah, you like seeing yourself up there on the screen?
Enter.
Yep. Who's great? Yeah, you are. I made you bigger. I think I have slightly more hair than she does currently, although hers is longer. So maybe not. Got some strands here. This hand has 2 5-drops in it and only 2 lands, so probably mulligan. This hand's not amazing, but definitely keep. We'll bottom the redundant Maul here. For people that are new to the channel, Healy is almost 9 months. Getting close, right? Almost 9 months old. Yeah. She's my youngest of 3. She has 2 older brothers that are crazier than she is. For now. Oh, no keyboard for baby. Yeah, she's crawling and pulling herself up on stuff and all over and into everything. Climbing upstairs. Yeah.
She can walk along the couch or table when she.
Did she get filtered there, chat? Did the RTX filter out her roar? You got some high-pitched noises.
But Dad, my noises are so pretty.
Your noises are very cute. So this is actually a tough decision point. I think we're actually supposed to take this trade here because the chump blocker is like these Clarion Spirits over here. I don't think those ones got filtered out. It was a deep, throaty roar.
She likes seeing herself.
She does, yeah. It's like the baby in the mirror, baby in the camera on the screen. Ideally, we want to spike an untapped land here. Perfect. I think we just get Elspeth ticking down. They'll be able to hit Elspeth for 1 in the air next turn, but she'll still get to make... she'll still get to make 2 more tokens afterwards.
I don't care what you have to say.
I think your voice is prettier than mine, too.
She's so happy with you. Hey.
You hear the camera lens move? It's auto-focusing because you're bouncing around. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good one. Kind of surprised they didn't attack us there. I wonder if they have a stomp that we need to worry about this turn. Ooh, I suppose playing Rally here, this could expose... This does expose the general, not even could, it does expose the general to a chop down, which is a little worrisome. Do we Elspeth pump these to hit for a bunch here? I guess they could just be diddling with Giant Killer as well. They have that one in play. I feel like I just want to make tokens with this next turn, so I'm just gonna go ahead and enter combat here, see what they do. If they tap with this, that would be ideal for us. It means they don't have a chop down. Easy attacks here. Yeah, I agree. I think we need to go wide to have a chance to win here. No chop down on the general, and Elspeth getting to add 6 power to the board here is huge. This showdown is not where they want to be. They need to be adding things to the board this turn. Yeah, you agree? They need to be adding things to the board. Whoop. You ready to go? You've seen enough of the bouncing, baby? You want to grab the stuff on my floor? Ooh, land is nice. This does equal to devotion to white. I think we just YOLO this, and then minus the Elspeth, and then crunch them, right? See, Haley knows the game is over. She's disinterested now. You're not going to beat Reverent Hoplite, Dad. Come on now. I'm going to plus on Kudro here, actually, so that way he can attack in with impunity here.
You are braver than you know.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Choo, choo, choo. That's true. Haley has a converted mana cost of at least 4. She does not get taken by Claim the Firstborn. You're number 3. Number 3. Alright, so Drannith Magistrate is absurd in this matchup. Stealing game 1 here feels huge. Dead Weight and Dire Tactics sound good. I think we want to just pull up post-board a little bit here. Yeah, you agree? I think pull up is the right play. We need four more cuts here. Giant Killer tags Bone Crusher Giant and Lovestruck Beast, but Drannith Magistrate makes those cards awkward for our opponent anyways. So maybe we just trim the Giant Killers here too. Nah, she's great. All right, maybe. You love your mama? I think I like this board plan. I could see it being correct to... being correct to like bring in the Elspeth's Nightmares too for killing some of their smaller things. Let's try this.
My face.
You grabbing your mother's face? Very grabbable. Haley, Haley thinks everybody's face is grabbable.
Ow.
I think we mulligan here. This doesn't do a lot, right? It's got a little bit of interaction, but that's about it.
Bye to the internet.
Bye-bye, internet.
B. Oh wait, it's focusing on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, it needs a black source, but seems keepable otherwise. Our 5-card hand tier is good, even if we don't cast Deadweight. Land. My cold dead heart melted a tiny bit. She's gonna do that. Magistrate! 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 Rex. Alright, so... I think we Skyclave the Lovestruck Beast this turn. I guess I could Maul here. Yeah, let's Maul defensively, actually. And then next turn we can Skyclave plus Deadweight. Well, now I'm really glad we didn't Skyclave the Lovestruck Beast. Maybe the opponent's been playing too much Rune Terror recently, and they forgot that First Strike works when blocking in Magic. Actually, you know what? I think this was a mistake, and I think we're getting rid of this Clarion Spirit here, so I should have deadweighted this and then Apparitioned this. Because then get a 1-1 instead of a 2-2 now. Guntron and Mandrew, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Not have Skyclaves. That's true. That's true. It could be a mistake that we don't get punished for, but this is worth pointing out that what I did was wrong. Alright, come on, Magistrate. How deep are you set deck? Almost done, Leroy. I'm gonna be switching over to Mythgard here in about after this match. I think we're going to game 3.
Together we can exact justice.
I think our Maul's gonna be able to overpower this showdown. We got another one sitting up here too. We're gonna play some 3-color tokens in Mythgard this afternoon. Spent a bunch of time playing it yesterday. It's a real sweet deck. I think Mythgard's probably the only digital card game I've played that comes close to Magic's deck building depth, since it lets you mix and match any number of color combinations. There's like Rune Tarot's got a bunch of colors, but you can only combine 2 at a time, which limits some of the depth that you can have in terms of deck building there. There isn't a generic chirp for a 1/3, like there isn't a jackal pup or a bear or some kind of animal like that they equate to. Ooh, that's a nice draw.
Heroes, rally to me.
Struck Beast gonna be a little scary. I didn't hold this back to block because I think there's a good chance they can play 2 spells and pump the Lovestruck Beast to a 7/7 anyways, so 6/4 is probably not relevant. Ha! This is kind of funny. So with Lovestruck Beast, they actually can't put 1/1 counters on things, otherwise they won't be able to attack with this. I guess they could have another 1/1 to play out after their land drop. Alright, so how about if I sacrifice him plus 1 other to kill your Lovestruck Beast? Yep. So that's 9. This will be 12. They kind of don't have great attacks. Oh, these have Vigilance. Never mind, I lied. This gives Vigilance. That's really good. I was thinking I had to kill them on the backswing, but we do not. That is not the second Maul I wanted for Christmas. Unfortunately, gonna end up a little bit short here, huh? Do you have enough to escape Elspeth? We don't actually. We're one card short. We're not dead though. So I get to attack them with this. And then I get to go land. I get to go land, discard a land to this, escape Elspeth. So I unfortunately couldn't do that pre-combat. So if I would have had the foresight, I guess we couldn't know we were drawing a 6th land. So if we knew we were drawing a 6th land, we could have discarded at the end of their turn to kill them, but we couldn't know that. If these are blanks, they're dead, right? They're dead to this. They're also dead to just any of these with the Maul, right? Well, I only had 1 card, Steric. So if I would have discarded my only card at the end of their turn, I would have needed to top deck a land. Which maybe it's right to do that, to put myself in a position to be able to top deck it. Wow, that's really lucky for us. They just didn't have another spell to cast to get a token here. Oh, we could have chumped with Apparition. Yeah, you're right. That's true. I could have chumped with Apparition with the 6th land in hand. Yeah, that's a good point. So I missed Deterministic Lethal there, not jumping with the Apparition. It's a really good catch. All right, so all in all, I feel like the strong thing this deck was doing was the kind of going bigger package. As far as like being a low to the ground aggressive deck, like our mana just doesn't feel anywhere near consistent enough with like temples and passages and takedowns to like be similar to white aggro with this go white. But I feel like if I were to try this again, I would want to be a little bit bigger and lean into Elspeth more. Like, I think I would probably like cut these Archpriests and go up to the full 4 copies of Elspeth, and then probably get at least 1 to 2 more lands of the 75. Like, you get another takedown in here. You could realistically play the white bolt land perhaps as a utility land as you're going along. Maybe you play another Reverent Hoplite, maybe you play another Maul, the Skyclaves, but I felt like our little creature plan kind of just made us a bad white aggro deck, and it felt to me like the really powerful thing we were doing was Elspeth plus Kudro plus Rally, like being able to like -2 on this twice and get like 8 or 12 power worth of tokens. That felt generally reasonable in a lot of spots, and being able to escape this but back up out of the bin to do it again felt pretty okay. So I feel like, I don't know if that's actually ideal, but that is the aspect that I would be looking to maximize from this deck, to just not simply be a bad white aggro deck. What felt like it appealed to me. At any rate, that's going to wrap up on Magic for the afternoon. Thanks for the follow, Tech in Fashion. We're not done streaming for the day. We're going to play some Mythgard for the next couple of hours to wrap things up. It's an all-digital TCG